Good evening. Tonight, the Channel 9 I-Team has uncovered startling new information on how tens of thousands of your tax dollars are being spent on the new Paul Brown Stadium. I-Team reporter Laure Quinlivan continues her investigation of the stadium project and finds some companies you're paying may be involved in a charade.
Clyde, County Commissioners promised taxpayers that minority and female-owned companies would get 15% of stadium work. But we found the county's not really watching, and some companies appear to be cheating you, the taxpayer.
When the I-Team knocked on doors of companies you're paying to do stadium work, sometimes no one answered the door. Sometimes no one answered the phone. Sometimes we got strange reactions.
Prefer not to turn the camera on.
What's going on?
All of these companies are listed here on the county's report on who's doing work at the stadium. Our investigation finds many of the minority and female companies listed here are not doing the work this report claims they're doing. Someone is paying them with your money to do little or nothing.
One of the big stadium contractors is T.J. Dyer. Dyer promised the county that 20% of its $18 million mechanical and plumbing contract on the stadium would go to minority or female companies. But look what Dyer really did. Dyer gave woman business enterprise Premier Supply 2 contracts worth more than $400,000. We traced Premier's P.O. Box address to this house in Lockland. The woman who lives here is Nancy Hellman. She wasn't home when we visited, but told us on the phone her company mainly supplies gloves. So what's with the plumbing contract?
I truly have no further comment.
She says Dyer gave her purchase orders for plumbing supplies and told her to pass them on to Worley, a legitimate plumbing supply company in Springfield Township. So why is Dyer going through Premier?
Why would you not just buy from Worley? What is the value add? What is she providing in the equation that makes this worthwhile?
Brenda Elmore is a consultant who helps major companies like Procter & Gamble develop programs to increase minority and female business suppliers. She says the deal Dyer set up with Premier on the stadium is unethical. It's called a pass-through.
To start coming up with fronts and pass-throughs, it's just not going to provide value, and those people that do legitimately rep those type of things lose out.
Dyer also claims Cardaw is supplying $80,000 heat exchangers, but Cardaw is a pipe and valve company.
Is he a distributor for heat exchangers on a regular basis, or was this a pass-through?
We tried to ask the female owner, but we could never find her. We found her husband, Jim Carr.
You the owner?
Yes, ma'am. Well, no, I run the place.
You run the place?
Yes,
I'm Laure Quinlivan, Channel 9.
He admits his wife's company isn't qualified to supply heat exchangers. He says Dyer paid Cardaw to order them from a real supplier. A Dyer subcontractor hired Sagan Incorporated to supply sheet metal. Is this legit? The county gave us a P.O. Box address for Sagan and a wrong phone number. The I-Team eventually traced Sagan to a little office in Kenwood.
Hi. Is this Sagan Incorporated?
Yes.
Can I speak to Deborah Sagan, please?
Yeah, hang on just a second.
Owner Deborah Sagan refused comment.
Would not speak to us, would not say who she was certified with, and didn't want to talk about this at all.
I'd be concerned, because those people that are true minority business owners are not going to have a problem showing you their certification or talking to you. They love nothing more than to market their business when it's legitimate.
We tried to get some answers from T.J. Dyer, but owner Tom Grody Jr. wouldn't talk with us. We wanted to know how much tax money you are paying these companies just so Dyer can claim it's doing business with female-owned companies. But the company attorney says Dyer is unwilling to provide the amounts these entities were paid, adding Dyer has made every effort to meet legal requirements and goals concerning minority female participation in the project.
If I were running the program, I'd be stopping all of this immediately and getting to the bottom of it and changing how they do business. Because as long as it's allowed to go on, it's going to happen.
Elmore says pass-throughs hurt the image of all legitimate minority companies like Diversified Supply. Diversified is earning more than $4 million supplying and installing stadium lighting. Owner Dan Anderson was more than happy to show us his warehouse and what he's doing on the stadium.
If you're a real company, you will answer your phone
Yes.
You will return calls. You will have a brochure of some kind, right?
Yes. You will have a lineup of what you actually sell or the services that you actually render.
Questionable companies are one problem, but our I-Team investigation found another one, the same one we first told you about last November. Inflated contract amounts for many of the minority companies on these reports.
Here's an example. Corporate Office Products does not have a $75,000 stadium contract, never did. So you only got $6,000. Do you know where this $75,000 number even comes from?
I don't even know.
Gill Technologies was not paid $4,700 for supplies. The company addresses this apartment building, home of Ronald Gill.
You didn't get paid that?
No,
Did you get paid anything?
nothing at all.
Did you do anything?
No.
This is the nerve center.
Jeffrey Molden's trucking company hasn't done anything either, but the county reports he has a $40,000 contract.
And you don't have a contract.
Not as of yet, no.
The owners of a Mount Adams design company were stunned to find their company on the stadium report. They don't have stadium work.
What do you think about this? We're shocked.
Be a nice job if we could get it. The money's nice.
2 hours after the I-Team did this interview, the county called us to say it made a mistake. Insignia Design is actually a company in Texas.
There's just a lot of really strange things that you're telling me that just, it's either complete chaos and disorganization or a lot of shaky stuff going on.
Elmore says the county needs a stadium monitor. Anderson says it's critical.
I think that person also needs to be responsible for making sure that the minority businesses add some value to the process, not operate out of their apartment or out of their basement with a phone and a fax operation and just take a paycheck. I think that's not the way to grow a minority business.
Last week we called Commissioner Bob Bettinghouse the point man on the stadium. He not only refused to be interviewed, he didn't even want to meet with us to see what the I-Team found. One county official is interested, Prosecutor Mike Allen. He's requested a copy of our investigation to see if there's any evidence of criminal activity.